music. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Venitas Podcast. It's a pleasure to be here with you again this morning. I have a very special guest, Mr. Ron Everett. He's the CEO of the Opus organization. And what the Opus organization does is it connects people. So, Ron is also not just a guest, he's a very good friend of mine. And we often get together at certain events. So he's going to be here throughout. He has some really good information to share with the community. And this is also going to be broadcast on YouTube. So I would appreciate it if you would share this information with your family and your friends because it has a lot to do with our youth. And Ron, welcome to the show again.
Great to be here, as usual.
It's great to have you here again. So, can you just tell our audience just a little bit about yourself and the Opus organization and what the mentoring program is all about that you're doing?
Great. Thanks again. Um, as director for the Opus organization, we have instituted a program for youth golf mentoring. And the mentoring program is done via the world of golf because golf has its inherent benefits that we'd like to share among our or children of color. Golf has been sort of an elusive event for underprivileged or underserved. And so what we are doing, we are bringing that into focus. Right now, and as a matter of fact, May 1st is the beginning of our 2025 season.
Okay.
We will kick that off at an event at X Golf in Stratford. X Golf in Stratford will host about 10 to 15 kids, age 11 to 17,
Okay.
from a group called Save Our Babies. Save Our Babies is a group that is administered by a number of African American business owners. And we will host them, introduce the program to them, and get their involvement.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. Um, in terms of introducing golf to black and brown um, uh, youth in our community, the challenge has always been it's an expensive sport. So if you're growing up in the inner city, there's just no way that you can afford, the golf clubs. And I learned this from my husband. He plays golf. What an education. So you can't just go out and buy golf clubs. Golf clubs, you have to, they're all customized.
Well, not exactly.
No?
Right?
Okay. So I'm wrong again. Thank you
No,
for the
you're not
correction.
necessarily wrong,
No.
but that's a perception that people have in terms of the expense of the game.
Okay.
One of the things that we try to do, or
Okay.
will be doing, is making it less expensive, making it more affordable.
Okay.
And there are a number of ways we're doing this. Number one, the kids that are involved in our program pay nothing. It's a 6-month
Perfect.
program where we will give them or have them practice with a set of clubs that the organization provides. We will give them golf lessons that will be provided by PGA professionals. We will take them to different golf courses where they can actually play the game. We will introduce them to our mentors like yourself, people that are successful, people that are entrepreneurs, professionals, because one of the key ingredients of the program is to expose the kids not only to golf, the game, but golf, the world. Who is in the world of golf? What are the benefits of being in this world? We want to expose them to that. And the biggest thing, we want to help them make better choices. Because as we
Exactly.
know, our kids will make the choices based on what they see.
Well, that's phenomenal. I mean, did you guys hear that? The kids don't pay anything. You get the transportation.
Not transportation.
No transportation?
No transportation.
So how do you get them there?
Well, they're parents. These
Okay.
are kids. I mean, they're from Our age
So,
group is
okay,
11 to
11
17.
to 17. So if, just say, for example, I have a 12-year-old son that's interested in in the organization. What is it? Save the Children,
No,
sponsored by.
Save the Children. It's another foundation. That's a group
Okay.
of of kids we're bringing in as a resource. Because the toughest part about the program is finding the kids.
Right. So that's what I'm confused about. So how do you get the kids? Number one, just say I'm sitting at home and I'm watching this video on YouTube, and I'm a 12-year-old boy and I want to get involved in golf. I'm from the inner city. I have a single parent, don't have a car. We take the city bus everywhere we go. What do you say to them? How do they get there? That's what I need to know.
Well, first of all, if you're that young, you talk to your parent.
Right.
All right? Because we will not, we do not have the resources to transport the
Okay.
kids. And at that age, generally, your parent is taking you everywhere. So this will be another destination for your parents.
Okay.
You have to get permission from your
Oh,
parents.
definitely.
So that's the way you would actually arrive.
Okay.
Now, in terms of finding out about the program, the information that you'll be exposed to from this podcast and other means that we have of marketing ourselves, you will be contacting myself.
Okay.
And we will talk about your interests and what the program will do for you.
Okay.
It's a 6-month program administered every 2 weeks. And in between, we'll have mentors. We will do Zoom calls. We will do in-person events, depending on the situation.
Okay. All right. So that's, being a girl from the hood. That's why I asked that question. You either have a parent or parents that take you everywhere or nowhere. Those are your choices.
Pretty much.
That's why I asked you about the transportation. So there isn't any transportation. And can we put the flyer up? Does that explain it a little bit more?
No, the flyer does not explain the
Okay.
program. The flyer explains our source of funding. One of our
Okay.
sources of funding is the golf tournament.
Okay.
The golf tournament is intended to offset funds for the program. Now,
Okay.
Ideally, the program will be funded via grants, and then we have been, I say, semi-approved for a grant now to deal with the kids in the Waterbury area.
Okay.
But we will also be using funds from our golf tournament proceeds to fund the kids here in the immediate
the Greater
area.
Bridgeport area.
Greater Bridgeport area.
So when you say you have been semi-approved for the kids in Waterbury, what exactly does that mean
We have been
with the kids in
recommended.
Waterbury?
Well, number one, we have been recommended by a foundation to receive this grant.
Okay.
All right, they make the recommendation. However, they're making a final determination literally today.
Ooh.
Today. The
Good
final
luck with
determination.
that. I hope we
Yes.
get the money.
Well, me too. All
Notice how I said we.
Well, you're part of Opus.
That's right.
For better or worse, you're part of Opus.
And it's all for the kids. I'm all for it. Takes a community to raise children. And there's a lot of kids in our area that, don't have access to not just a golf course, but the information that you could receive from just being there. Because I don't play golf, but you can network. There's a lot of deals made on the golf course. Whenever my husband goes to play, I send him with a stack of cards. Really, you know that. You're a
of course.
golfer.
I mean, the inherent benefit of being in golf is that you meet people and you're out there for several hours, and you're out there for several hours in a group of 4.
Okay.
And in that group, you will discuss a number of things. And a round lasts anywhere from 3 to 5 hours.
Or
So,
longer.
well, if it lasts longer than that, you don't need to be playing. You should stop at 9. You don't have to play 18 holes.
Okay.
But the benefit of that is that, let's say your husband. I go out with your husband. By the 5th hour, which is at the 19th hole, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
By the fifth hour, I know about Venita. I know about Venita's habits. I know about your family stuff. I know
Really?
about his job. I know a lot of stuff because you naturally probe. You
Okay.
probe
Yeah.
in the context of just socializing.
Yeah.
So what do you do? All right. So what's that like? So how long have you been doing that? And that's an exchange that takes place. And so by the end of the round, you've made a friend.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure Joe talks about me all the time and keep it to insurance, whether it's health insurance, life insurance, P&C. Every time they need to know something else, bring up a new line of insurance. We are full circle. And the kids, you know what? The kids benefit from that just by being there.
Well, see, that's
And
the other piece. Right?
okay.
The kids, normally the kids would not play with the adults on
No?
a normal.
Okay.
They're in training, and they're learning
Okay.
to play the game, so that in the event that the exceptional ones will play with the adults.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will be playing among themselves, shorter game. They will play maybe 5 holes, maybe 6 holes at a time, and then they're done. All right. But with the adults, we're not going to take a kid and then subject him to a 5-6 hour day. We're not going to do that. It's
Okay.
overwhelming.
So, you know what? I guess I'm still a little bit confused. Golf is confusing to me. Let's just put it out there. I'm not even going to tell you some of the things I said about it. Or maybe I should. We're going on vacation, and we're going to Myrtle Beach. And I promised my husband I would play golf with him because he said it's a small golf course. And my understanding was they only had 3 holes. And so that makes no sense, right? It's a par
Yes.
3.
Yes and no. Typically,
So I don't understand golf. So
okay.
get
Typically, par 3 refers to a particular hole, meaning you have 3 chances to put the ball in the hole.
Okay.
All right, that's a par 3 hole. A short golf course has maybe 9 of those par 3 holes.
Okay.
Or a short golf course has 9 holes, but not all of them are par 3s. There's a par 3, there's a par 4, and there's a par 5.
Got you.
So it depends on what the course has to offer.
Okay. So I want to understand the program a little bit better because I thought the kids were going to be mentored by the adults, playing with the adults, getting the information from the adults. So can you walk me through that step by step? The kids are in a training program. What is the first thing they do?
First thing they do is meet the mentors, meet us,
Okay.
and we will talk to them about the game.
Okay.
The first thing we will do, and we'll be doing this on Monday, the first thing we will do is show them a video of the history of black golf in America. It's about anywhere from 10 to 15-minute video, depending on what we actually show,
Okay.
to help them understand where golf is in the total spectrum, in the socioeconomic footprint of America.
Okay.
And from there, they will meet, at the same time, they will meet some of the mentors. They will meet a couple of architects, including myself and 2 practicing architects, and perhaps another individual professional. I don't know who that will be right now, but we do have.
Promise them Tiger Woods. They'll come. They'll all come.
Well, Tiger will be featured in the video. Okay, he will be featured in the video.
Okay.
So, and then from there, we will actually give them some preliminary lessons. We will be at a virtual golf facility.
Oh.
At the virtual golf facility, it will simulate
Okay.
the experience on a real golf course.
Gotcha.
So they will get to hold a club.
Mm-hmm.
They will get to swing a club.
Okay.
We will teach them during that time, it's an hour and a half. During that time, we will teach them how to hold a club and the fundamentals of the game. We will not engage them to playing yet.
On a real course.
On a real course,
Okay.
not yet.
Isn't that a big difference of simulation between a real thing?
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
However,
So-
it's safer. It's safer.
in terms of swinging and letting go of the club.
Well, yeah, well, letting go of the club is another thing altogether.
Well, they'll be yelling four all the time. I know what that means.
Well, it's safer
Four.
in as much as the balls are not yours and the balls don't go anywhere. The
Okay.
balls stay within, like the studio. The balls are in the studio.
Okay.
You're swinging and you're hitting the balls into a screen, and the technology is tracking the ball. The technology will let you know how your club made contact with the ball.
I've
how
seen
far
those.
that ball
I
has
actually
traveled.
swung it a couple times inside. I think we did it up at the casino or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now the training is for 6 months. Is it inside for 6 months?
Oh no, it's we get out and as a matter of fact, the only time we will be inside is when the weather is
Yeah.
inclement.
Okay.
If it's too cold, if it's raining, we will be inside. Um,
But you could play in the rain as long as it doesn't thunder, right?
Right.
Or lightning.
Right. As a matter of fact, I
Joe
can tell
comes
you-
home
I
saturated
can-
at
listen,
times.
I can tell you stories about guys that play in the rain. I don't play in the rain. All right. I played with my son-in-law once early in when in this is my career playing golf,
Uh-huh.
and we were on probably the 14th hole, and there's only 18. We were on 14, and we're in Florida, and the rain starts to come down,
It pours.
and it pours.
But
I
it
mean,
stops like that. It only
well,
pours
it
like
may
a few
it
minutes.
may stop. No, it didn't stop this time because that's what he was saying. And his name is Tim, and I said, Tim, I think we can wrap it up here. He said, No, we only have a few more holes. I said, a few more holes, Tim. We can always come back tomorrow. But he was willing to stay out there in the rain.
Yeah.
And if you watch golf on TV, they play in the rain.
Yeah.
They play in the rain. They play in the wind. All right? They play in the cold.
I know.
Not
I
me.
know. I know. So, a lot of athletes like the reason my husband could just stand there and pretend like it's not even raining is because he's a football coach and he played football. So if you were a former football player, let's take Lawrence Taylor, the rain is not going to faze him. He won't even blink. So that's why a lot of the guys, they when their careers are over or they stop with the football because you can only do that for so long, and they transition over to golf. They could play in the rain as long as if they would play until somebody forced them off the course.
Well, the other piece of that is you play. There's a point where the course gets saturated.
Yep.
And you cannot play.
You can't,
I mean,
okay.
there are areas
There's
on that
puddles
course
and stuff, 'cause
it's flooded.
yeah.
And the wise person would just say, pick up and go home. Because even with the floods, it's not going to drain during the time you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to use your bit of discretion and common sense to shut it down.
Well, depending on how strong your addiction is.
I guess you're right about that, Vanita.
I've seen some crazy things. So let's talk more about the kids training. So the first couple of times, and when the weather is bad, they're being trained by someone like you on the inside.
Well,
And
they're
then what?
introduced to it on the inside, and they're
Okay.
being introduced to it on the inside today because one of our major sponsors, or at least the people that sponsored last year, has this indoor facility, and
Okay.
they're opening it up to us
Okay.
to introduce the kids. Normally, what we're doing today or Monday would be done outside. All of this will be done outside, except when we're going to do a lecture, and the lecture may be done on Zoom, and the lecture may cover things like the history of golf, the evolution of golf, or we introduce them to a particular professional and talk about what that professional has done to gain his position in the sport, whatever,
Okay.
or in either the sport or the industry, so that they can get a chance to see that there are a lot of us that are doing things that they may never have seen.
Exactly. So, that's interesting. So, I'm just trying to walk through this. They get the training on the inside. The Zooms that you guys do with the video of people like with Tiger Woods to introduce them, how do you know they're engaged? I mean,
Well, first of all,
because
the
you're
groups-
talking about 12-year-old kids. How do you? I would do that in person. I would never do that on a Zoom.
Well, uh,
They'll probably be playing like on their Xbox
listen,
or something.
in all honesty, our program is geared to 14 and up.
Okay,
All
14
right.
and up. I thought you
However,
said younger.
no. However, there are some people
Mm-hmm.
that have a couple 11-year-old kids
That are interested,
that are
genuinely
interested, that are
interested.
genuinely
Okay.
interested. My grandson being one, he was when I don't know when he actually started, but he was one of he showed interest in the game. And when a kid shows interest in something,
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 5 or 7. As you recall, we interviewed the young woman from Texas, and she
Yes.
started when she was 4.
Yeah.
All right. And she had a particular focus,
Mm-hmm.
probably from her dad,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Your grandson probably got it from you, being around you.
Well, he got it from being around his dad. From being around his
Okay,
dad.
yeah.
And his dad plays golf. And they're both, he has 2 sons.
Okay.
His 2 sons are into lacrosse. And they're into
I
lacrosse.
heard that was a rough sport.
Well, it
Lacrosse.
has its issues. They were introduced to lacrosse because he played lacrosse. Their dad played lacrosse.
That's usually how it goes.
Which is the point we're making about golf. The kids will emulate what they see,
Exactly.
and I'm sure if their dad wasn't a lacrosse player, the chances are of them getting involved in lacrosse would not be as great because they are very, very enthusiastic
Right.
about that.
And I thought part of the program was to introduce it to children that weren't exposed to it.
Well, yeah, the program is the golf mentor program is to introduce kids that have not been exposed to golf.
Exactly.
And if you could only imagine an inner city kid walking onto
I don't
a
have to
golf
imagine. I am one, but okay.
walking on, well, you can attest to that experience. When you walked onto a golf course for the first time, it had to be magical. It was magical for me. It was magical for me at age 60. It was magical. Okay, so and it's not just walking onto the course. It's where the course is located. The course is generally located in an area of town, in an area of the country that is pristine.
Well, yes.
To maintain a golf course, it takes a lot of effort.
And a lot of money.
A lot
It's
of money.
always, when you're from the inner city, it's always about the money.
Well,
Always.
the game access to the game is about
Yeah.
the money, but at the same time, it's like having mentors, having godfathers, quote unquote,
Yeah.
to introduce you and to take you through. Chances are at 14, 15, 16, 18, you ain't got no money. So someone has to sponsor you.
Yes.
Sponsors will take you through, and what we are doing with the program is sponsoring these kids for 6 months, taking them from introducing them to the game to actually playing.
The game outside.
They will be playing the
With
game outside all
a
summer.
team of 4 with their peers, not with the
Well, no,
adults.
they'll be engaged with adults.
okay.
We will pair them with adults.
Okay.
Case in point,
Well, that sounds great.
I have a friend who has a similar program. He's part of Opus too.
Okay.
He administers his program in Florida.
Okay.
And the way they do their program, when they do their golf tournament, they have kids shadow the players. They'll bring the players around the cart, kids come along, but the kids are just watching.
Oh, that's got to be boring, Ron. I mean, to just watch golf is a very slow game. I've seen it. I've been there. And you have 15-year-olds. They're probably on their phones.
Benita, first of all,
I'm sorry.
I think you're the wrong person to talk to about golf.
No. I mean, if I watch it on TV, and the only reason I watch it is because I like Tiger Woods. And I like Charlie Woods, So, maybe if they watched Tiger's son, that would be, a little bit inspiring too. But riding around on the golf course
Well,
and just watching and not being able to do anything for a child. And I'm assuming these kids are probably athletes. Like they play football or baseball or basketball. No?
No.
That's how I thought you I
No.
think it would be a great I think it would be a great way to choose kids to introduce them to golf. Kids that actually played football or baseball or something because they already have that competitive edge.
No,
No? So
absolutely not.
you just randomly pick these kids
Well, we
like
we pick them based on their interest. If
okay.
they're interested in playing golf, anybody can learn to play golf.
Mhm.
So you don't have to be an athlete. And as a
But
matter of fact, oftentimes being an athlete
yeah.
is is a liability because you think that golf is easy because you're an athlete. I'm an athlete. I can do anything. But golf is very humbling. So oftentimes you can take a kid that's never played golf and have them perform better than that athlete because they don't have to unlearn certain
Better
things.
than a golf athlete, you
Well,
mean?
not
Or
necessarily a golf athlete, an athlete, a baseball, football,
right.
basketball. These are all different sports, and they all involve a different skill set. So we don't want to discriminate against the non-athlete because if you
Right.
take anybody can play golf.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just wondering how you selected some of the children that was never exposed to it from the inner city. And if it were me, I think the first thing I would do is contact the high schools because you're talking age 14 to whatever, 18. Contact the coaches, talk to the coaches, and see if you can get, say, a basketball team to introduce golf to the entire basketball team at once because then you have at least five kids. They're all competitive and it's new to all of them and they're all going to give it a try.
Well,
But how do you know if you're interested in something if you don't actually at least do it one time? How do you say, "Oh, I think I want to play. I think I might be interested in playing golf." How does that just come about? You have to have something to inspire you, I would think.
well, the
Yeah.
inspiration part of this, because that's what we're talking about here. The
Okay.
inspiration, not necessarily the talent, and not,
Oh,
and
yes.
certainly not necessarily organized sports, because golf is an individual game. You play against the course. You're not playing against another team or another person. You're playing against the course
Even
itself.
when there's four playing at once?
The four playing it at
So a
once.
foursome?
The foursome. Nobody hits your ball but you.
Right.
Nobody
Okay.
advances your ball but you.
Okay.
Someone can tell you what they think you should do, but you have to execute. So back to your question about how do we select the people. We select the people based on their interest
Their
in the
interest.
game.
Okay.
Interest in not only the game, but interest in the attributes of the game. Like, if I get involved with this group, I may meet a lawyer that may help me to select a school. I may meet an architect that I would not have met otherwise. I may meet an insurance agent that I don't know anything about. I may
Uh-huh.
meet a teacher.
Right?
I may meet a pilot. I may meet. I mean, and when I use these professions, these are actual people. As a matter of fact, the person who owns a golf course in Palm City, Florida, happens to be an African American who bought this course several years ago, and my buddy who actually administers his program in that facility at that facility lives in Pennsylvania. He
Okay.
selected that facility because it was owned and purchased by an African American Navy pilot who has a tremendous healthcare company. You might want to be a little more about that company.
Is
It's
he an Opus?
yes,
Oh,
Eagle
okay.
Force. Eagle Force Health
Okay.
is the name of the company,
Okay.
and we can talk more about that offline.
Right. So, tell us a little bit about you're coming up on your second annual event, mentoring event. Tell us about that.
Well, well. You said a mentoring event. I thought you were going to say the golf
The,
course.
okay, I'm sorry, the golf course.
The second. This is our second annual golf tournament, and that is going to take place on October 6th,
Okay.
and at
Can we
Whitney
see the
Farms.
flyer? Can you put the flyer up? Yeah.
At Whitney Farms golf course. I can't see the flyer, so I know what it says.
Well, you know what
What's
it
on it?
says.
Yes.
So, golf tournament 2025, Whitney Farms Golf Club. It's going to be on October 6th. And we are looking for sponsors.
Oh,
Number
absolutely.
one, we need people. You need people to sponsor. I don't want to say this the wrong way. Like certain, like what a flag is, the little hole that it goes into. Let him tell you. We need sponsors for. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, we need sponsors to raise funds. All right,
Right.
and there are different levels of sponsorships that we offer,
Okay.
and the largest one being a title sponsor, which is $9,500 for
Okay.
that
So we can't
title
list.
sponsor.
Yeah. Okay. We'll give all the pricing later. We can't do a list price on this.
Okay. Well,
This
anyway,
this.
we have title sponsors, platinum sponsor, gold sponsor, silver sponsor, a contributing sponsor, a corporate sponsor, and we have putting sponsor, um, hole-in-one sponsor, number of different
That
sponsorships.
sounds like
Okay.
fun because
Yeah.
that is so hard to do. Now I know what that means, a hole in one.
Okay.
Because I play mini golf.
Yeah. Well,
And-
we're listing all these different sponsors and contributors.
okay.
The other thing that we're looking to do is to um, get people to donate gifts that we can raffle off.
Okay.
The
Like a
raffling,
silent raffle or
well, it's a
just
silent auction.
okay, silent auction.
Silent
Okay.
auction. We will do a silent auction and we will raffle off gifts
Okay.
that donors actually provide for us.
Okay.
Last
That's a
year-
great way to fundraise too.
Last year, we had Starbucks. Starbucks was our biggest donor in terms of gifts.
Okay.
We were able to they gave us a whole bunch of product and we had to break it up into gift baskets.
Okay.
I think we were able to put together maybe 10 or 12 gift baskets.
Nice.
And then we raffled them off.
Okay.
But we raffle off things like golf clubs, we raffle off restaurant dinners, we raffle off golf course rounds. We raffle off a number of things.
Okay. What about when you check in? Is there like, say for example, you're going for the golf tournament? I volunteered once for one of my friends, Lorraine Gibbons. She had she sponsored a golf outing at, I think it was at Racebrook, and she had a table. There was all of us at the table, and she gave out in each bag. There was like a T-shirt. There were so many things that you do at the table. Now, I'm just asking one of those things, do you guys have the 50/50 raffle? Because we sold raffle tickets for so many different things. Is your setup the same as that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Pretty
All
much
right.
at a golf tournament, the setup is pretty much the same.
Okay.
The volunteers, the raffle gifts, because the raffle gifts, you start raffling off the gifts as soon as people register.
Okay.
They register and the raffles are out there. They will be able to buy raffle tickets throughout the round up
Okay.
until dinner.
Okay.
All right. And then we hold a raffle at the dinner.
Okay. At the dinner. Okay. Yeah, it sounds the same. The one that I went to, one or two, I think I did. I volunteered. We worked all day, and I drove around on the golf cart, and I drank and ate all day. And then we also had dinner at night, and they had all different types of, events going on, all different types of things like the 50/50 raffle and all those things that you talked about. So, what would you like to? We're about to wrap up in a few minutes.
What
So,
I,
uh,
in
what would you
closing,
like to say to our audience?
Number one, the golf tournament is our major fundraiser
For the kids,
for the program.
for the program, and the
No.
program is for the
The
kids.
program targets young golfers.
Okay.
Now,
I call them kids,
having,
but okay.
Well, I like to say young adults.
Young adults.
Because kids have a different connotation with me, right, for the young adults. And in addition to focusing on the young adults, we also focus on new golfers that may not be so young. There are some adults that want to become part of our program. Now, the adults that become part of our program are they won't get the free ride.
Okay.
They may be willing to do
Yeah.
to ante up to pay for their involvement. However, they are part of the program
Okay.
because these adults are also professionals that we will expose our young adults to. So
Okay.
we don't discriminate with relative to age. So that's why I use the term young
Young
adults.
adults.
There's young adults and there's older
So,
adults. But what I like to say, I welcome everybody that wants to participate in the golf tournament, because you don't have to be able to play golf.
right.
If
Like
you
me. You could be like me.
you can be there as a volunteer.
Hmm.
You can be there as a as a how would I say, um, as a person that makes fun of everybody, or that just has fun. You may
Okay.
be the object of some jokes, but at the same time you'll have a great time,
Right.
because not everybody can hit the ball.
Exactly. So we just need, people in the community to support this program. And the bottom line for this program is it's to mentor the kids and to introduce golf to our young adults and kids and older adults. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It takes a community. Whenever you're trying to do anything with the children, I commend you for trying to introduce it to kids in the inner city. So if you're in the inner city and you have transportation, or if you want to be a sponsor, or whatever level you are interested in this golf program, you can contact Mr. Ron Everett, and his phone number is on the flyer.
Yes.
Okay, on the flyer, and ask any questions. They can even be stupid questions like the ones I ask. Because if you don't know what you don't know. So no question is a stupid question. But bottom line is we are trying to expand the thinking, the networking of our youth. We're trying to get them interested and, take them outside of their usual box of, most black and brown children that I know where I grew up wanted to become Michael Jordan and focused on just basketball because that's what they were exposed to, or wanted to be Lawrence Taylor because he was a great football star. And then we were introduced to Tiger Woods. So what we're trying to do is just expand that, just enhance that program and make it available to everyone. So if you don't know if you're interested and you just like to try, call Ron and see what's available.
Absolutely.
That's
I welcome
yeah.
anybody's calls.
And for all of you sponsors out there, we need your support. That's all I can say. Call Ron, and you don't have to be there. And see how you can help some of the youth and help support this program for our community, for our black and brown community. And
By the way,
by the way, okay.
Vanita will be there as a volunteer. Am I wrong?
What's the date again?
What's the date? October 6th. But
October 6th. I
we
will be there.
all right.
I will
We
be
know that
there.
Joe will be there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will be there as a volunteer. I'm also a sponsor. And if you see somebody driving around on one of those golf carts and I happen to miss the road, that might be me too. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining our podcast today. Thank you, Ron, for coming on again. We will be coming on again before October 6th just to make sure everybody gets this information. And once again, I'd like to ask you to share this information on YouTube. Put it on on your social media because you never know who's interested. Okay? So thank you very much and I hope everyone have a wonderful day.